Welcome to Lifestyles of the Strange and Exotic Random Book Review. And today we are reviewing a Smart Kid's Guide to Ancient Greek Gods and Goddesses and Egypt's Famous Landmarks by Liam Saxon. And this was put out last year, 2015, and it's a freebie on Amazon. And again, a very quick read. I read it in like 5 minutes. I'm glad the author uses the ancient Egyptian names for things, because a lot of time you see, especially in kids' books, I think maybe because the names are maybe easier to spell, you know, they use like the Greek words in names and not the Egyptian, so that was kind of cool. The pictures are really nice, so if you've got like a Kindle Fire or you know, something that's utilizing, you know, the color aspect, I recommend using the color technological tablet over the Kindle, but the information is pretty good. So the author, I think, is, I don't want to say they didn't do research, but what's presented is kind of old knowledge, where it's like, oh, the pyramids are built by the slaves, when modern Egyptology kind of veers from that, where, you know, they didn't skip happily to work every day. I mean, they're conscripts, but they weren't like, you know, 10 Commandments type slaves. I'm never sure if I'm still in picture. Hi. So there is sort of that contradiction there. I'm going to adjust your person here. La, 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 la. Something to put you on. Okay. See, where's my... Okay. It did need a bit of a proofreader because there were some sort of like typos, sort of like, you know, where you'd want of, you might type off instead or something like that. There 2 or 3 little typos, but nothing that was like, you know, they stood out when you came across them, but there weren't too many to come across. Again, kind of going with the sort of old knowledge stuff. She kind of believes that Ramesses built most of the stuff that his name is on, not realizing they called him the Great Chiseler, where he would take the names of other pharaohs and other people that were on the temples and put his own name on, sort of claiming them for his. So she's kind of basing on old common knowledge. And there's a picture of the Library of Alexandria that I swear that it is a screenshot from Carl Sagan's Cosmos. And forever, I mean, it was just gorgeous to look at. Which, I mean, I don't blame them for using that as a, you know, picture for the Library of Alexandria. So I'm like, you know, this was done like forever ago. I think it was out in the 70s or 80s or something. And even now it's still worth a watch. So watch Carl Sagan's Cosmos. And I could never figure out how they did those scenes, because it was like he's in amongst the building and it's so visually striking. And it's like, well, this is before CGI. Come to find out, it's actually a model somebody built. And, you know, they kind of superimposed him on it. It's like, wow, it was high quality stuff. So, that was kind of a nice little surprise. As there are 2 books here, it actually starts off with Egypt and then goes into the Greek. But there's no, like, pause in between the books. So you're reading the Egyptian thing, then suddenly you're in, like, the Greek gods, and I'm like, there's no connection. You know, so it's like, yeah, it was kind of jarring. So it kind of goes from history to mythology, where it's not really, well, of course it does specify ancient Greek gods and goddesses, and the artwork that she uses for the goddesses or gods and goddesses are really, really nice. And they're just sort of like one paragraph. You know, this is Zeus. Zeus was married to Hera. They had children. Zeus was a playboy. You know, very basic stuff. So for like, I'm not quite sure what age range this would be good for. Maybe a kid that's sort of fairly adept at reading. I'm not quite sure. Not having children, I don't know. I was a good reader since like the beginning. An older crowd would probably appreciate the Egyptian part, where a younger crowd could probably get away from reading the gods and goddesses part. So it's definitely geared for the fairly young. But it's a good introduction to, history in general, so. And if you just like a quick brainless read, done in 5 minutes, I do recommend A Smart Kid's Guide to Ancient Greek Gods and Goddesses and Egypt's Famous Landmarks. Goes, Kids, a world of learning at your fingertips. I was kind of hoping it was like interactive because of the way the pictures are. I was like, he was peeling away to see something else, but sadly no. So, thank you for watching. Do remember to comment, rate, share, and subscribe. There's always room for one more at the Strange and Exotic. See you next time, and happy reading!